Mike.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music. Today, to end our set of 10 that we're filming today, we are going to review the new album from a band called Cloud Cult. The album's called Light Chasers. Now, this album is technically a request from our friend John Van Rukel, JVR, who has been watching us and with us since the beginning. Now, Cloud Cult is an interesting band. Now, I think this is like their 8th album, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And they're a band. They have several members, a lot of different instruments like strings, keys, drums, guitar, and a lot of electronic elements too. And if I were going to compare them to other artists, I'd say the Freelance Whales, first thing that comes to mind. But even Menomena, the Arcade Fire, Cursive even.
One band this really reminded me of, just in how big the sound is and how positive the concepts are, is Polyphonic Spree.
Absolutely. And this is very much a concept record, and almost to the point that I think that the concept's bigger than what, you know, the average listener can bite, including myself. Even is that just on, you know, 4, 5, 6 listens now, I haven't really bitten on what the concept is. I know it's space themed, and there's a lot of references to the Captain, and I love how the first song and the last song on the album are related, and the concepts presented in the tracks in between. This is a 16 track EP. It does feel a little long. I don't know how long it actually is. I think just the fact that there's 16 tracks.
Upper 50-minute range.
Right, which is a long time, I like it. I like the concept. I like the intensity and the purpose. Now, one disclaimer that Tom and I want to throw out to you guys right now is that if you are at all put off by bubblegum, poppy sounding vocals or production or anything like that, avoid this like the plague. Because this is like the richest cheesecake or French silk pie that you've ever had, and you're gonna bite it and it's just so sugary and sweet and you love it.
But then after a while it's like sugar overload.
Right. Right. And that is the first thing I thought when JVR showed us this, and I still feel like that every once in a while when I'm listening to some of these tracks. Now I do get into it. There's parts on this album where it rocks out, and there's parts where it's super poppy. And there's, you know, the closing track. There's so much energy in us. I found to be just this fantastic, cathartic, emotive way to close the album that. You know, I feel like there's a lot of diversity here, and I really like that, and the concept and the songwriting and the structures are all unique and varied, and that's something that I really like. Now, Tom, what's your take on this?
You know, you hit it pretty well. I think that my biggest complaint about this is just how heady it is.
Right.
I mean, wow, is this tough to digest all at once. I mean, it takes a lot of listens to really even understand what's in. Yeah, it's going all over the place in the sounds, in the song structures. I mean, you've got good transitional tracks, and I mean, there's 16.
Right.
16 tracks. And when you go all these places, it's going to be tough to get into. At the same time, though, while you said that, you know, and I totally agree, that this sound is going to be a complete turnoff for some people.
Right.
Just way too positive almost. At the same time, some people really get into that. Some people really want that.
Well, it gets kind of cathartic and moody towards the end, because I think that playing into the concept of, like, you know, the crash of whatever this ship is that they're on.
Yeah.
But one thing that really got me, Tito, is the fact that, you know, while this is just a great example of how you can have a concept album or an album that's themed and have good tracks that stand on their own on the album.
Yeah.
So many artists are making these albums that have, you know, 10 to 12 tracks on them, that they're all just like short little ditties that stand on their own, that are played great on Pandora or the radio, and why not just make a damn album out of it, so that if your listener is sitting down and listening to the whole thing, that they can experience and have a good listening experience. And I feel like Light Chasers does that to the nth degree, just because of how well it's albumized and presented, and that's something that I really appreciated. Now, there's a couple tracks on here, in specific, track 6, The Exploding People, and track 11, The Guessing Game, where there's these annoying, to me, very annoying electronic processed vocals that just bugged the hell out of me, and I just felt like it would have sounded so much better if it would have just been the guy's normal voice, and that kind of was a diss track.
And I think I mean, I can only speculate, but I think one of the reasons they do that is just to mix it up. But to tell you the truth, they already do such a good job of that, and the styles and the moods on this album that they don't need to throw in that trick. It's a little beyond what they need.
It's kind of like when you're mixing pancake batter. You don't want to over mix it. You don't want to get it too watered down, because then your pancakes aren't going to be as fluffy as you want them to be.
That's a horrible analogy.
All right, thanks. I agree, but my
made me hungry. But.
I am. But my point is that this album at times is just too experimental. There's just too much stuff going on. And while I do like the girth, 55 minutes, I do feel like they could have focused it a little bit more and gave a more direct message. But I still have found this to be really fun to listen to. There are parts in this where I'm just blown away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's always a good feeling, I think, when you're listening to music and it's so original, unique, and well written that you're just blown away, even if it comes at the cost of a couple tracks. Now, the score that I give, Tom, is going to be where I'm at right now with it. This is the type of album that the parts that I love, I could potentially love so much someday that it will overwrite some of the parts that I don't love as much. Like all of the albums that I love, like, say, Dredge's El Cielo. There's some tracks on that I don't like, but it's you know, made up for by all the tracks that you love. So it's that type of situation. I'm feeling an 84.
I'm going to go an even 80. And I want to say the same disclaimer he just gave is right on, and I completely agree with it. This is one of those that will take a lot of time. And to tell you the truth, this album, I mean, I really like it. I was really impressed by the stuff they did. And to tell you the truth, I wish these guys got more recognition. I'm almost kind of ashamed that I had never really heard of them before this.
8 albums or something like that?
And they're not getting nearly enough recognition, so definitely check them out.
One other thing, and we'll hopefully, Tom and I really want to interview these guys because they're coming to Ames on April 15th. They're coming to our kind of college, Iowa State University's college celebration, which will be fun. And we got to interview Fun last year, and I would really like to interview these guys. From what we've heard, there's a painter. The band has a painter that actually paints paintings while the band is playing on stage, and then they give them away, and they're major eco freaks, and that's awesome. And they donate their tour money and all this stuff. They make contributions and stuff. So it's a really cool band. There's a lot to really get involved with and like about this band, especially when they're providing big concept albums like Light Chasers. So if that's the sort of thing you're into, and if you can handle the really bright pop sound that you're going to get at times on this, please check this out. And from such an unknown band like Cloud Cult. Maybe you guys have heard of Cloud Cult. We're just in the dark. We're in Iowa. I mean, come on now. What did you guys think? If you've heard of this, let us know your experience. If not, please check it out, and then let us know what you think. This is a band that I feel like we all should be listening to and checking out. So leave us a comment, www.velocitiesmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesmusic. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VINTV, moving music critique forward.